Hi, Assalamualaikum everyone. Today we are going to take a look at the role of the religion in shaping civilization. Here we are focusing on comparing between Mesopotamia and Islamic civilization in art and architecture. Mesopotamia, known as the cradle of the civilization, was one of the first places human society began to take a shape. It developed between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers in Iraq and parts of Syria, Turkey and also Iran. The name of Mesopotamia means land between rivers, and this location was perfect for farming, trade and the peace of the city. Some of the world's earliest and most influential civilizations came from the Mesopotamia, like the Sumerians, Akkadians, Babylonians, and Assyrians. This is where the writing was invented, with the cuneiform script and the first legal codes like Hammurabi's code were created. They built incredible structures like the ziggurats and told timeless stories like the Epic of the Gilgamesh.
Several factors that influence Mesopotamian civilizations, but we are going to look how religion influenced Mesopotamian civilization in the context of art and architecture. Religion played a crucial role in the life of the ancient Mesopotamian civilization, influencing all facets of their society, including art and architecture. This profound religious framework substantially impacted the evolution of Mesopotamian art and architecture, guiding the form, styles, and interpretation of their artistic endeavors. It was designed to fulfill religious functions with temples, palaces, and ziggurats built to honor and placate deities. These structures embodied the cosmic order and enhanced the interaction between divine and human spirits. This Mesopotamian belief art and architecture could bridge earthly and sacred realms, paying tribute to their gods and securing their benevolence. One form of architecture construct was the ziggurats. There are three renowned ziggurats. The first is the White Temple of Uru, which was dedicated to the Sumerian sky god Vishnu and served as an important religious center. The second is Ziggurat of Babylon, famously linked to the mythical Tower of Babel, constructed by the kings of Babylon. Lastly, the Ziggurat of Ur, situated in present-day Iraq, is a remarkable preserved example of Mesopotamian architecture and is among the most celebrated ziggurats. Ziggurats, tall towers like pyramids, were built by stacking and peeling. The core of the ziggurat is made of mud bricks, which are then encased in baked bricks that are adherent with bitumen, a naturally occurring tar. Ziggurats, tall towers like pyramids, were built by stacking and peeling. The core of the ziggurat is made of mud bricks, which are then encased in baked bricks that are adherent with bitumen, a naturally occurring tar. It was constructed for religious purpose. The shrines situated at their summits were designed as residence for priests and high-ranking officials. Over time, this structure evolved into venues for documentation and political discourse. Hence, the tower were built at a significant height to safeguard against floods. Each ziggurat was linked to the structures, creating a complex architectural arrangement, typically featuring a temple at the center of this complex. Looking to Mesopotamian arts. Mesopotamian arts are heavily influenced by religions, was crafted by skilled artisans, providing valuable insights into the belief and practices of this ancient civilization. Looking to Mesopotamian arts. Mesopotamian arts are heavily influenced by religion. Marduk served as a notable illustration of the numerous deities despite in Mesopotamian art. Statues representing these gods were sculptured from the stone and were commonly found throughout the chamber of the ziggurat temples. And Marduk in particular wore depicts in various materials including woods, precious metals and clay. An additional significant art form was the mosaic created by the Mesopotamians. Frescoes adorned the wall ziggurat temples, illustrating various deities. The Assyrian people depicted scenes of everyday life and the military accomplishments, reflecting their pride in these artistic expressions.
Now, take a look about the Islamic civilization. The Islamic civilization has always been a blend of the many cultures stretching from the North Africa to the Pacific Ocean and from Central Asia to Sub-Saharan Africa. During the 7th and 8th century, the Islamic Empire grew quickly through conquest, creating a large and united territory. Although this unity weakened in the 9th century and 10th centuries, the empire continued to rise, fall, and reshape itself over the next 10,000 years. Islamic states frequently changed, accepting new cultures and people. They grew impressive city and developed a vast trade network. Islamic states frequently changed, accepting new cultures and people. They grew impressive city and
One of the famous masterpieces is the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem. It is the oldest extant Islamic monument and one of the best known. The Dome of the Rock is located on the Temple Mount, also known as Haram al-Sharif in Arabic, in Jerusalem, and was built between 691 and 692 Christ era under the Umayyad Caliphate, and it was ordered by Caliph Abdul Malik. This masterpiece not only reflects religious devotion but also demonstrates the synthesis of artistic and cultural influence from diverse traditions. The design and ornamentation are rooted by the Byzantine architectural tradition, but also display traits that will later come to be associated with a distinctly Islamic architectural style. The structure consists of a gilded wooden dome sitting atop an octagonal base. Inside the monument, it contains two ambulatory circles around a patch of exposed rock. This site is sacred to both Judaism and Islam. The interior is richly decorated with marble, mosaic, and metal plaque.
Other important discoveries include finding two warning inscriptions forbidding Gentiles to enter the inner court of the temple. One was found by the Lion's Gate, also called Stephen's Gate, and the other in the northern part of the Temple Mount. These reveal further evidence that the current Temple Mount is the true location of the original temples.
Aleppo, one of the world's oldest continuously inhabited cities, has played an important role in history as a hub of commerce, culture, and architectural marvels. The location of Aleppo was strategically at the crossroads of all trade routes, contribute to its popularity and long-standing legacy. Despite the devastation caused by conflict in the recent years, Aleppo continues to be a symbol of resistance and cultural heritage. Archaeology has found fortification on the site dating back to Roman time and early, but the citadel was begun in the 10th century and acquired its current form in a massive expansion and reconstruction during the Ayyubi era about 1179 to 1260. Inside the wall of the citadel, there are residences, chambers to store supplies, wells, moats, and defensive installations. Everything needed to hold out against a long siege. The most imposing part of the complex is the massive entrance block built around 1213. A steep stone bridge resting on 7 arches leads across the moat to 2 towering gates, the Gate of Serpent and the Gate of the Lion. To enter the citadel, invaders would have had to penetrate both gates and navigate a winding passageway while defenders poured boiling liquid down on them, and arrow shot from the numerous arrow slits rained down on them from above.
Architecture is a significant aspect of both Mesopotamian and Islamic civilization, reflecting their religious beliefs, social values, and technological advancement. Mesopotamian architecture primarily focused on the temple and palace, representing divine order, while Islamic architecture evolved to include mosque, palace, and gardens, creating a distinctive architectural legacy. Mesopotamia is renowned for the monumental ziggurat, such as the Ziggurat of Ur, which was the temple dedicated to their pantheon of gods and as a symbol of connection between heaven and earth. Mesopotamian architecture was grand but particularly and was a built to serve religious and political purposes, while Islamic architecture focused on the creating spaces for the worship and community life, with dome, arcs, and the minarets becoming the main features of the Islamic cities. For example, Dome of the Rock and the Aleppo. Unlike Mesopotamians, Islamic builders use materials like stone, marble, and the colorful tiles, making their structure both durable and visually stunning with the touch of the gardens and the fountains that reflected harmony and beauty in line with their spiritual values. Despite these differences of civilization have various profound legacies, Mesopotamian achievement laid the
strong word for the monumental architecture and narrative arts, while Islamic civilization refined the expanded artistic and architectural tradition leave a timeless influence in the cultural worldwide.
The Mesopotamian and Islamic civilizations, though separated by centuries, share fascinating similarities in their art and architecture. This connection originates from their shared geography and the enduring influence of early Mesopotamian innovations on later cultures, including Islamic civilizations. In art, both civilizations excel in using complex patterns and designs. Mesopotamian art often features geometric shapes and symbols in temple and palace decorations. Similarly, Islamic art became famous for its complex geometric and arabesque design, particularly in mosques and manuscripts. These patterns and symbols are the way they express their religions, values, and beliefs. For example, the stele of Hammurabi and the Blue Quran. The stele of Hammurabi is an ancient Mesopotamian stone monument created around 1754 BCE. It is most famous for inscribing the Code of Hammurabi, one of the earliest and most comprehensive legal codes in history. The stele was commissioned by King Hammurabi of Babylon and was placed in a public area to ensure that the laws were visible to all citizens. The monument is significant not only as a legal artifact but also as a work of art that symbolizes the relationship between the king and the gods. The stele of Hammurabi is an ancient Mesopotamian stone monument created around 1754 BCE. It is most famous for inscribing the Code of Hammurabi, one of the earliest and most. While the Blue Quran is an Islamic manuscript created in North Africa during the 9th or 10th century CE, it is considered one of the most visually stunning and important copies of the Quran ever produced. The manuscript is famous for its unique use of indigo-dyed parchment and gold calligraphy. The Blue Quran served both as a religious artifact and as a symbol of a patronage and piety of the rulers who commissioned it, most likely during the Achaemenid dynasty in Tunisia. While the Blue Quran is an Islamic manuscript created in North Africa during the 9th or 10th century CE, it is considered one of the most visually stunning and important copies of the Quran ever produced. Both civilizations also use luxury materials in their arts, from rare stones to precious metals. Both culture integrated these materials into their creations, emphasizing their wealth, craftsmanship, and spiritual devotion. For example, the standard of in Mesopotamian civilization used lapis lazuli, a deep blue stone imported from distant lands of Afghanistan. Meanwhile, the Blue Quran in Islamic civilization used a gold cufic script on indigo-dyed parchment, which symbolized the eternal and divine nature of God's word. In architecture, both civilizations are known for their monumental structures that resemble each other. The Mesopotamians built ziggurats, large step temples that served as religious and administrative centers. Similarly, Islamic civilization constructed grand mosques, which were central to urban and spiritual life. Both types of structures became iconic symbols of their respective societies. For example, the ziggurat of in Mesopotamian civilization inspired the Great Mosque of Samarra in Islamic civilization, whose spiral minaret resembles a ziggurat in form and purpose. The ziggurat of in Mesopotamian civilization and the Great Mosque of Samarra in Islamic civilization are both monumental structures, and there are intriguing architectural parallels between the two that reflect the influence of ancient Mesopotamian architectural forms on later Islamic design. The Great Mosque of Samarra, built between 848 and 852 CE during the Abbasid Caliphate, is one of the most impressive early Islamic structures. Located in present-day Iraq, it is renowned for its iconic spiral minaret known as the Malwiya minaret, which bears a striking resemblance to the shape and design of the ziggurats of ancient Mesopotamia. Thus, the ziggurat of and the Great Mosque of Samarra represent two distinct cultures and time periods, yet their architectural similarities, particularly in the design of monumental ascending structures, suggest a continuity of architectural ideas across civilizations. The spiral minaret of Samarra can be seen as an evolution of the Mesopotamian ziggurat, with both structures reflecting the religious, political, and cultural values of their societies. The Great Mosque of Samarra, with its striking Malwiya minaret, echoes the influence of the ziggurat in Islamic architecture, demonstrating how ancient architectural forms continue to inspire Islamic builders, even centuries after the fall of Mesopotamian civilization.
Now we go for the conclusion. Mesopotamian and Islamic civilization share profound connection in art and architecture. Despite being separated by centuries, Mesopotamia, known as the cradle of the civilization, laid the foundation for the human creativity and monumental construction, with its connecting with the ziggurat. Early writing system and the symbolic arts shows that the Mesopotamia is really focusing on the monumental. Now we go for the conclusion. Mesopotamian and Islamic civilization share profound connection in art and architecture. Despite being separated by centuries, Mesopotamia, known as the cradle of the civilization, laid the foundation for the human creativity and monumental construction, with its connecting with the ziggurat. Early writing system and the symbolic arts shows that the Mesopotamia is really focusing on the monumental. Then we go to Islamic architecture and the art aspect. Used the Mesopotamian principle creating the visual, stunning and spiritual significant structures like a dome of the rock and the great mosque of the Samsara. But the civilization used the complex geometric pattern and the luxury materials to express their values of the religion and belief. The Mesopotamian reflect and the temple decoration involving into the Islamic manuscript and the architecture. Then, Mesopotamian and also Islamic civilization have distinct cultural contexts that share emphasis on the monumental structure, inscription, artistic, and the incorporation of the spiritual into their creation highlights the long-lasting impact of the early Mesopotamian. Mesopotamian innovation on the Islamic works, artistic, and the architecture achievement. Their parallels and the various demonstration humanity's ability to build on the historical traditions while the creative individual expression of the identity